Hey everyone, so I've been seeing this OMAX M837ZFLR-C90U microscope pop up all over my feed lately, especially in lab and hobbyist groups. People keep asking about it because it packs some serious features into a mid-range package. I finally got my hands on one to see what all the buzz is about, and I'm pretty impressed with what it can do. If you're curious about the specs, the link is in the description so you can check it out on Amazon. First off, the magnification range is pretty solid. You get 40x all the way up to 2500x, which is great whether you're looking at tiny plant cells or something like pond water critters. The objectives are parfocal, so switching between them keeps the image in focus without a ton of adjustments. That's a nice time saver when you're in the middle of a session and don't want to fuss with the fine focus every time. I've found that having a broad range of magnification options really opens up the possibilities for exploration. For example, you can start by getting a general overview of your sample at lower magnifications, and then zoom in to really examine the details. Now, the EPI-Fluorescence part is where this microscope really stands out. It uses a special light path that lets you see fluorescent markers, which is super useful in biology for things like identifying specific proteins or checking cell viability. I tried it with some stained samples I had lying around, and the contrast was way better than I expected. You can toggle the fluorescence on and off easily, so it's not overwhelming when you just want a regular bright field view. I think this feature is especially useful for students or hobbyists who are just starting to explore the world of microscopy. It's a great way to visualize complex biological processes in a way that's both informative and engaging. The transmitted illumination is another highlight. It's got a built-in LED system that's bright but not harsh, and you can adjust the intensity. I used it to look at some thin tissue sections, and the clarity was really good. The light diffuses nicely, so you don't get those annoying hotspots that can wash out details. This is especially important when you're working with delicate samples, because you want to be able to see as much detail as possible without damaging the sample. I've found that the adjustable illumination is also really helpful when you're working with samples that have varying levels of transparency. One thing I appreciate is the Trinocular head. It lets you attach a camera while still allowing you or a student to look through the eyepieces. The camera that comes with it is a 9MP digital model, and the software is pretty straightforward. I was able to capture some decent images right out of the box, though if you're doing serious imaging, you might want to upgrade later. Still, for the price, it's a solid start. I think the Trinocular head is a great feature for educators, because it allows students to work together and observe samples simultaneously. It's also really useful for documentation purposes, because you can easily capture high-quality images of your samples. The build quality feels sturdy for the price point. The metal frame and adjustable stage are smooth to operate, and the coarse and fine focus knobs have a nice resistance so you don't accidentally overshoot. I also like that it comes with a dust cover and a few extra bulbs, small things, but they add up when you're setting up a workspace. It's clear that the manufacturer has put some thought into designing a microscope that's both functional and durable. I've been using it for a while now, and I haven't noticed any significant wear and tear. On the downside, the fluorescence does require a bit of a learning curve. You'll need to experiment with exposure times and filter settings to get the best results, especially if you're new to fluorescence microscopy. It's not as plug-and-play as the bright field mode, so plan on spending some time tweaking things. Also, while the camera is decent, don't expect lab-grade resolution. If you're doing professional research, you might outgrow it quickly, but for students or hobbyists, it's more than enough. I think it's worth noting that the learning curve is definitely worth it, though. Once you get the hang of using the fluorescence feature, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities for exploration and discovery. In terms of accessories, I've found that the included lens cleaning cloth and dust cover are really useful. Overall, this microscope punches above its weight for the price. It's versatile, well-built, and the fluorescence feature opens up a whole new way to explore samples. If you're in the market for a mid-range microscope that can handle both standard and fluorescent work, this one's worth a look. I think it's a great option for anyone who's serious about microscopy, whether you're a student, a hobbyist, or a professional. The OMAX M837ZFLR-C90U is a solid choice that's sure to provide hours of fascinating exploration and discovery. The link is below if you want to check it out further.